Stop, look at your hand, flex your fingers, make a fist. It feels soft, it feels pliable, it feels alive. But inside your chest, deep within the dark tunnels of your arteries, a slow, silent process is turning your flexible rivers of life into rigid pipes of stone. We call it aging. I call it petrification. You are slowly, biologically, becoming a statue. But here is the cruel joke, the terrifying paradox that keeps geriatric wards full and cardiologists rich. While your heart is turning to stone, your skeleton is turning to dust. Your arteries are getting harder, but your hips are getting softer. How is this possible? How can a human body be calcifying its soft tissues to death, while simultaneously crumbling its structural frame like dry chalk? The answer lies in a mistake you likely made this very morning. For 40 years, you were fed a seductive lie. A lie printed on every cereal box and endorsed by government guidelines since the 1980s. The lie is simple. If your bones are weak, just swallow more calcium. So you did. You drank the milk. You took the giant white pills. You were a good patient. And what is the result? Statistics show that in populations with the highest calcium intake, fracture rates are higher, not lower. And the rate of calcified plaque in the heart is skyrocketing. What if I told you that the calcium pill you took with your breakfast acts less like a nutrient and more like a loose brick on a highway? Without a specific traffic controller, a nutrient most of you have completely eliminated from your diet, that calcium does not know where to go. So it settles. It clogs, it hardens. You aren't building bones. You are building a tomb. Today, we stop the petrification. We are going to fire calcium from its job as manager and hire the true architect. We will discover the samurai enzyme that dissolves arterial plaque. We will unlock the electrical switch in your heels that commands bone to grow. And we will reclaim your frame before it turns to dust. Welcome to the calcium paradox. Let's start with history. You remember your grandmother telling you to drink warm milk before bed. She wasn't entirely wrong, but she was drinking a different substance than you are today. Ancestral milk, fresh, raw, from cows grazing on green grass under the sun, was a living food. It was a complex biological system. It contained the enzyme phosphatase, which is essential for absorbing calcium. It contained lactase, the enzyme that helps you digest the milk sugar. It was rich in vitamin K2 because the cows ate green grass rich in K1, which they converted to K2 in their stomachs. Now look at the white liquid in the plastic jug in your supermarket. It has been pasteurized at ultra-high heat. This kills the bad bacteria, yes, but it also destroys the enzymes. The phosphatase is gone. The lactase is gone. The cows are often fed corn and soy grains in a feedlot, not grass. This means the milk has almost zero vitamin K2 and is high in inflammatory omega-6 fats. When you rely solely on this modern industrial milk for bone strength, you are flooding your system with calcium carbonate, but without the instruction manual or the workers needed to use it. You are swallowing dead calcium. We must understand the biology of calcium. Calcium is an essential mineral. Your heart needs it to beat. Your muscles need it to contract. Your neurons need it to fire. But calcium is, biologically speaking, a dumb worker. It has no brain. It just goes where the blood flow takes it. Imagine a construction worker who is very strong but not very bright. You hire him to repair the cracks in your driveway, your bones. You give him a truckload of wet cement. But you don't give him a map. You don't give him a foreman. So this worker drives in, sees a pothole in the middle of the highway, inflammation in your arteries, and dumps the cement there. Then he sees a crack in the plumbing, your kidneys, and dumps cement there, creating kidney stones. He sees a joint that is inflamed, arthritis, and dumps cement there, creating bone spurs. He dumps concrete everywhere except the driveway. This is exactly what happens when you take calcium supplements in isolation. You are flooding your bloodstream with cement. The body panics. It maintains a very strict pH balance and calcium level in the blood. If calcium gets too high, the heart stops, so the body must dump it somewhere fast. It pushes the calcium into soft tissues. It pushes it into the coronary arteries. We call this the calcium paradox. You are literally calcifying your heart valves to death, while your hip bone starves for minerals. To understand why this happens as we age, we must look at the cellular level. Your bone is not a rock. It is a living tissue that is constantly being demolished and rebuilt. You have two teams of workers in your bones. First, osteoclasts. These are the demolition crew. They scrub away old, brittle bone. Second, osteoblasts. These are the masons. They lay down new bone matrix and fill it with minerals. When you are young, the osteoblasts work faster than the osteoclasts. You grow. After age 30, it levels off. After menopause or andropause around age 50 to 60, the hormones that supervise this crew retire. The demolition crew starts working overtime, while the masons get tired and slow down. The result? More bone is eaten away than is replaced. Taking calcium alone does not stimulate the masons. It just gives them more bricks to pile up in the yard, which eventually gets stolen and dumped in the arteries. Now you might be thinking, okay, wise guy, if calcium is the problem, I'll just stop taking it. Not so fast. You need calcium, but you need to unlock the traffic controller. In a few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to a nutrient derived from a fermented samurai dish, a slime so potent it acts as the traffic police for minerals. But before that, we have to talk about the ignition key that 80% of you are missing, and why your stomach acid is actually too low, not too high. Here is the science that changes everything. This is the most important part of this broadcast. In your body, there is a protein called matrix GLA protein, or MGP. Think of MGP as a tiny claw. Its job is to travel through your arteries, find any calcium that is stuck to the walls, grab it, and escort it out. There is another protein called osteocalcin. Its job is to take that calcium and cement it into the bone matrix. But there is a catch. Both MGP and osteocalcin are born inactive. They are asleep, they have no hands. The only thing that wakes them up and gives them the power to grab calcium is vitamin K2. Please do not confuse this with vitamin K1. Vitamin K1 is found in spinach, kale, and broccoli. It helps your blood clot so you don't bleed to death from a paper cut. That is important. Vitamin K2 is entirely different. It is found in animal fats, organ meats, and fermented foods. Without K2, the calcium supplements you take are arguably dangerous. Let's look at the Rotterdam study. This was a massive study following 4,800 people for 10 years. They found that people with the highest intake of vitamin K2 had 50% less arterial calcification, 50% lower risk of death from heart disease, 25% lower risk of all-cause mortality. Why? Because the K2 activated the proteins. It cleared the highway and paved the driveway. K2 is the GPS. It tells the cement truck where to go. Where do we lose this wisdom? Let's look at Japan. Specifically, the difference between Eastern Japan and Western Japan. Researchers noticed a statistical anomaly. Women in Eastern Japan had significantly lower rates of hip fractures than women in the West, even though their genetics were the same. The difference was a breakfast dish called natto. Natto is fermented soybeans. It is slimy, sticky, and has a very strong, ammonia-like smell. It is an acquired taste, to say the least. It was a staple food for samurai warriors to build strength and endurance. Natto is the highest natural source of vitamin K2, specifically the MK7 form in the world. The bacteria Bacillus subtilis that ferments the beans produces massive amounts of K2 to protect itself. When the Japanese eat this, they are flooding their blood with the long-lasting MK7 version of K2. MK7 stays in your blood for 72 hours. The synthetic version, MK4, only stays for 4 to 6 hours. You don't have to eat the slimy beans if you can't stomach them. Modern science allows us to extract the MK7 into softgels. But the lesson remains. Ancestral preservation methods, specifically fermentation, held the key to structural integrity. Now, let's meet the manager. If calcium is the bricks and K2 is the GPS, magnesium is the foreman who tells the workers when to work and when to rest. Biochemically, calcium and magnesium are opposites. Calcium excites nerves. Magnesium calms them. Calcium contracts muscle. Magnesium relaxes it. Calcium hardens. Magnesium softens. If you have too much calcium and not enough magnesium, your cells live in a state of permanent tension. Your eyelid twitches. Your calves cramp at night. Your heart beats irregularly. Your blood pressure rises because the arterial walls are constricted. But here is the bone connection. Magnesium stimulates the hormone calcitonin, which draws calcium out of the blood and soft tissues and puts it back into the bone. It also suppresses parathyroid hormone, which does the opposite and pulls calcium out of the bone. If you are magnesium deficient, and 70% of the population is, because our soil is depleted, your parathyroid hormone goes up, and your bones dissolve. Most seniors are taking 1,000 milligrams of calcium and 0 magnesium. This is a recipe for disaster. You need a balance. A 1-to-1 ratio is often ideal in nature, or at least 2-to-1. We've talked about the trinity, calcium, K2, and magnesium, but there are thieves lurking in your daily routine. Substances you consume every day that are robbing your bank account faster than you can deposit money. In the next section, we expose the bone robbers, including one that might be in your breadbasket right now. You know sugar is bad for diabetes. You know it makes you fat, but did you know sugar makes your bones brittle? This process is called glycation. Imagine dipping a piece of soft bread into sugar syrup and baking it. It becomes hard, crunchy, and easy to snap. This is crème brûlée. When you have high blood sugar, the glucose binds to the proteins in your body. Your bones are 50% protein, specifically collagen. The collagen is the flexible web that holds the minerals. When sugar attacks bone collagen, it creates advanced glycation end products. The collagen fibers become stiff and brittle. They lose their ability to bend. So you can have high bone density, lots of minerals, but if the collagen web is glycated, sugar-coated, the bone will still snap upon impact. The most effective bone medicine is often cutting out the sugar and processed flour that spikes your insulin. This is crucial for the audience over 60. Many of you suffer from heartburn or reflux. You take omeprazole, antacids, or baking soda. You have been told you have too much acid, but biologically, as we age, our parietal cells in the stomach produce less acid, not more. The valve that keeps acid in the stomach requires high acid to close tightly. When acid is low, the valve stays open, and the little acid you have splashes up. You feel the burn, but the cause is low acid. Why does this matter for bones? Calcium acts like a stone. You cannot absorb a stone unless you dissolve it first. To ionize calcium, to make it absorbable, you need a stomach pH of 1 to 3. Highly acidic. If you take antacids, you neutralize your stomach acid. You turn your stomach into a neutral swamp. The calcium carbonate you swallow remains a rock. It passes through you, or worse, creates kidney stones. Furthermore, without acid, you cannot digest protein to make the collagen matrix. Consider taking apple cider vinegar or beaten HCl with meals to acidify the stomach and absorb your minerals. Go to your medicine cabinet right now. Pick up that bottle of calcium. Turn it around. Does it say calcium carbonate? If it does, I want you to reconsider using it. Calcium carbonate is essentially ground up limestone or chalk. It is cheap to manufacture. It requires massive amounts of stomach acid to break down. Since we just learned you likely have low acid, this form is useless to you. It causes gas, bloating, and constipation. The solution: look for calcium citrate or calcium malate. These forms are chelated, bonded to an organic acid. They are pre-digested. They do not require strong stomach acid to be absorbed. They are gentle on the kidneys. Or better yet, look for plant-based calcium derived from algae. This comes with dozens of trace minerals naturally balanced. There is a secret weapon used by the Israelis and in parts of the Mediterranean where bone loss is rare. It is a trace mineral called boron. Boron is the preserver. It reduces the amount of calcium and magnesium you lose through urination. It tightens the seal on the bladder, metaphorically speaking. It also extends the half-life of vitamin D and estrogen in the body. In the 1900s, we got boron from the soil, through apples and pears. Today, industrial farming has stripped the soil. Supplementing with a small amount of boron, 3 milligrams to 6 milligrams, can be the difference between a bucket with a hole in it and a bucket that holds water. So, what does a proper routine look like? Do not guess. Here is a framework to discuss with your doctor. Morning, the builder. Vitamin D3 to absorb calcium. Vitamin K2 Mk7 to direct calcium. Aim for 100 mcg to 200 mcg. Take these with a fat source like eggs or yogurt for absorption. Midday, the structure. Collagen peptides or bone broth. You need the amino acids to build the web. Boron, 3 milligrams. Evening, the relaxer. Magnesium, 200 milligrams to 400 milligrams. Use magnesium glycinate for sleep or citrate if you are constipated. Why evening? It relaxes the muscles and helps you sleep. Deep sleep is when bones repair. Now let's talk about that electricity I promised. There is a law in physiology called Wolff's Law. It states that bone grows in response to the forces placed upon it. But how does the bone know where to grow? It doesn't have eyes. Here is the magic. When you impact the ground, when you take a step, the bone bends slightly, microscopically. This bending creates friction between the collagen fibers and the mineral crystals. This friction generates a tiny electrical charge. This is called piezoelectricity. It's the same principle as a quartz watch or a gas grill igniter. Pressure creates a spark. This electrical negative charge acts like a magnet. It signals the osteoblasts. Hey, we have stress here. Send the cement truck to this exact coordinate. This is why swimming is wonderful for your heart, but useless for your bones. The water supports you. There is no impact. There is no gravity. No bending. No spark. To build bone, you need the thud. You don't need to run a marathon. In fact, running might be bad for your knees if you have arthritis. Here is an ancient simple technique confirmed by modern sports science. The heel drop. Stand behind a sturdy chair. Hold onto it for balance. Rise up on your toes as high as you can. Drop your heels down firmly to the floor. Thud. Do not bend your knees to cushion the blow. Let the vibration travel up. Feel that shockwave travel up through your shins, into your femur, and up your spine. That thud is the signal. That thud is the spark. Do 20 repetitions twice a day. It takes less than 2 minutes. It signals to your body that your skeleton is being used, that it is necessary, and that it must be reinforced. Use it or lose it is not just a saying. It is an electrical command. We have fixed the chemistry. We have fixed the physics. But there is one last thief, the silent thief. You can take all the K2, eat all the Natto, do all the heel drops. But if you fail this last step, you will still lose bone mass. The thief is cortisol, the stress hormone. Biologically, your body is hardwired for survival, not longevity. When you are chronically stressed, worried about your children, worried about politics, anxious about the future, your body enters fight or flight mode. In this mode, your body thinks, I need energy now to run away from a tiger. It doesn't care about your hip density 10 years from now. It cares about surviving the next 10 minutes. So cortisol goes to your bones. It stimulates the osteoclasts, the demolition crew. It literally dissolves the protein matrix of your bones to convert those amino acids into glucose, sugar, for quick energy. It treats your skeleton like a pantry. It raids the pantry to burn the furniture for heat. Osteoporosis is often a disease of anxiety. If you are living in a state of high alert, your body is chemically incapable of building bone. It is in breakdown mode. The most powerful anabolic building agent for your bones is not a pill. It is peace. It is deep sleep. It is the refusal to worry about things you cannot control. Your bones are made of minerals, yes, but they are cemented together by rest. So my friend, let us look at that statue one last time. We do not want to be rigid, brittle marble, beautiful but useless. We want to be like the great oak tree. It has deep roots, it has strong bark, but it is capable of swaying in the storm without snapping. Here's your summary, the architecture of your new frame. 1. Stop relying on calcium alone. It is a dumb worker without a boss. 2. Hire the architect. Vitamin K2 Mk7 to guide the minerals into the bone and out of the heart. 3. Hire the manager. Magnesium to relax the tissues and prevent brittleness. 4. Seal the leaks. Use boron and optimize stomach acid to stop losing what you ingest. 5. Create the spark. Use impact, use gravity, do your heel drops. Generate the electricity that calls for growth. 6. Evict the thief. Lower your stress. Protect your sleep. Understand that calm is a structural component of your body. You are not finished. You are not fading away. You are simply under new management. And this manager knows exactly what to do. Disclaimer, I am a researcher and a narrator of history and biology, not your personal physician. This information is educational. Before adding vitamin K2, especially if you are on blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin, you must consult your doctor as they interact directly. Take this knowledge to them and build your plan together. Walk tall, stay strong,